This is the Kids Wish Network, a charity based out of Florida that, according to their website, kidswishnetwork.org, grants wishes to terminally ill children. To quote their website directly, they're dedicated to infusing hope, creating happy memories, and improving the quality of life for children having experienced life-altering situations. Sounds great, right? Well, it may surprise you to learn that according to Chris Hundley and Kendall Taggart of CNN, this is the worst charity in America. According to a year-long investigation by the Tampa Bay Times and the Center for Investigative Reporting, Kids Wish Network spent 83% of what they raised in the past decade to for-profit fundraising companies. And if that's not bad enough, wait till you hear that an additional $4.8 million of that money went directly to the charity's founder. All in all, a total of 3% of their cash went to actual programs and wishes. As you can see, we have a problem here. I love donating to charity, and I love the feeling of knowing that I'm making a difference in someone's life. But I also recognize, and hope to make you guys recognize too, that donating to the right charities is just as important as donating itself. Unfortunately, the Kids Wish Network is just the tip of the iceberg. For example, in 2013, the four charities you see here, the Cancer Fund of America, Cancer Support Services, Children's Cancer Fund of America, and the Breast Cancer Society, were charged with misspending over $187 million from donors. Just let that number sink in for a minute. $187 million. According to a press release from the Federal Trade Commission, the charities promised things like pain relief medication and hospice care, when in reality, only a tiny amount of that money was spent on charitable aid. What was the rest spent on? According to David Fitzpatrick and Drew Griffin of CNN, most of it was again spent on for-profit fundraisers. And the rest went to lucrative employee salaries for the president and their families, new cars, vacations, cruises, and sports tickets. Not exactly what the donors had in mind when they pledged away their money. But these four aren't alone in using professional fundraisers. Lisa Mahapatra of the International Business Times says that there's over 6,000 charities in the U.S. that use for-profit fundraisers. What does this mean? It means that the charity is hiring an outside company to solicit donations. But the problem with this is that a huge chunk of the donation just goes to pay the company. There are hundreds of organizations out there that regularly give their solicitors over 2/3 of the donation. And clearly, this is hugely inefficient. And I don't know about you, but when I make a donation, I want it to be going to people who need it, not outside companies. And I also don't want to be making some CEO somewhere a multi-millionaire. But, as I'm sure you can guess, this is what happens in some charities as well. This chart from charity.watch.org shows the top salaries for presidents and CEOs in certain charities in the U.S. And as you can see, the highest one here is almost $3 million, and all 6 of these are more than $1 million. Just another way that some charities are wasting your donation. Hopefully, I've convinced you that there are some really bad charities out there. From ones that fundraise inefficiently using outside companies, to ones that pay their leaders way more than they should, to ones that just openly deceive their donors. It's clear that many of these are wasting our donations. But fortunately, this issue is easy to fix. Every single one of these relies on contributions from people like you. After all, you can't mismanage money if you don't have any money to start with. The key is so simple. We need to stop giving to the ones that squander away our donation and start supporting the ones that are enacting positive change efficiently. Let me give you an idea of how big of a difference this could make. According again to the Tampa Bay Times investigation of 2013, the 50 worst charities in the U.S. spent nearly $1 billion on paying for-profit fundraising companies. Let's say that this money went to legitimate charities. According to Lindsay Funston of Real Simple magazine, this $1 billion could have been spent on 20,000 homes from Habitat for Humanity, 100 million disease-protecting mosquito nets from Nothing But Nets, 50 million children's books from Reading is Fundamental, or 1 billion trees planted through the Nature Conservancy. And this is if we cut just 50 charities out of our pocketbooks. 50! There are a lot more than 50 bad charities out there that are undeserving of our cash. If we cut these out of our wallets and supported only the best charities instead, the possibilities are truly unimaginable. And for that reason, I ask you to do one simple thing. When it comes to charities, do your homework. The first step is to check out the website of the charity to see exactly what it is that they do. But as we saw with the Kids Wish Network, sometimes charities aren't very truthful. So I recommend getting an outside perspective. There are several resources to do this, and my favorite is a website called Charity Navigator. It's incredibly simple. All you do is type in the name of the organization that you're looking into, and you can find out everything you need to know to assess the charity's legitimacy. Charity Network gives all 8,000 of its charities a rating out of 100, so you have a number too that you can use to objectively compare charities. And according to the Charity Navigator website, their ratings show givers how efficiently they believe a charity will use their support, how well it sustained its programs and services over time, and their level of commitment to good governance, best practices, and openness with information. You can find out things like general description, fundraising efficiency, administrative expenses, program expenses, CEO salary, and everything else you need to know to decide if they'd use your donation well. Here's an example, too, of a pie chart that you can see for every organization they have. And you can clearly see in the expenses which of the expenses go to the program in the blue, the administrative in the red, and fundraising costs in the yellow. And say you want to make a donation but don't know where to start, Charity Navigator can also help you out with that. You can search different categories like the one you see here. I just took a screenshot from their website. And you can filter your results, see the grades for all of them, of course, too, and find a great organization that speaks to you. And if you want to take your research even farther, you have more options for that as well. Caroline Fredman of ConsumerReports.org recommends the BBB Wise Giving Alliance and Charity Watch as two other options as well. They give you similar information to Charity Navigator, but also allow you to see it from a different perspective. Donating to charity is an incredible way to make the world a better place, and I strongly encourage you guys to donate as long as you donate smart. There are thousands of superb organizations out there, but as you saw earlier, there are also ones that will waste your hard-earned money. It's up to you to decide to do your research and make sure you're choosing the right ones. Fortunately, tools like Charity Navigator make this pretty simple. So, I pass the responsibility on to you, and the power to change the world is in your hands.